Well, hello, good evening. Welcome to Sports Today. You are live with me, Rajashri Gupta. We're just half an hour away from the first T20I between India and Sri Lanka. The toss has, of course, taken place. I will quickly tell you who's won the toss, what are the team combinations looking like tonight. Before I head over to the big IPL news, the schedule for the remainder of the season has been announced. Well, in the first T20I, then Sri Lanka have won the toss and decided to bowl first in Colombo tonight. And for India, there are two debutants. Prithvi Shaw, who's almost established himself in that ODI team. He's going to make his debut. He had a couple of really good innings there. He was man of the match in the first ODI, remember. So he's the one to look out for the future as far as opening batsmen are concerned. He's now going to try and prove his mettle, prove his worth in the T20I side as well. He's been brilliant for Delhi Capitals at the top of the order alongside Shikhar Dhawan. And of course, he'll open again with Dhawan tonight. So we'll have to see. He's such a prodigious talent that you'd want to see him make his mark. And the other debutant for India is, of course, Varun Chakravarti, the mystery spinner who has stood out with his performances for Kolkata Knight Riders in the IPL. Remember, Varun Chakravarti was in the India squad earlier, but there were some fitness issues, and he was just about uh, you know, he was all at sea trying to get his fitness up to the very high standards of this Indian cricket team. So he's making his debut. So that'll be something you'd want to watch out eagerly. Of course, there is plenty at stake in this T20I series. Remember, India have been far too dominant and too strong for Sri Lanka. Of course, they won the first two ODI. Sri Lanka did win the final ODI, but then again, it was literally a third or a fourth string ODI side for India that was out in the park. They had five debutants, and Sri Lanka were the better team on the day, winning the third ODI. Consolation will really, but India taking that series 2-1. How will this T20I series go? There's plenty to work for both teams. This is the last chance for India to try and close those formations, those combinations in their T20I side before the T20 World Cup starts in a few months from now. The main Indian team is, of course, in England preparing for that Test series there. But there'll be a lot of attention on Prithvi Shaw. Can he also cement his place? Can he show that same aggression, the same flair in the T20I team? He's been a good, solid batsman in the shortest format of the game. Varun Chakravarti, again, he's making his debut, mystery spinner. You'd expect spinners like him to flourish in this format. There is a lot of demand for spinners like Varun Chakravarti. Chetan Sakaria, this throughout the series, you'll get to see what he does with his chances as well. So there'll be some impetus for India in the series. Does he get a game? When he gets a game, so that will be something to watch out for. I'll of course give you the playing 11. The playing 11 is yet to be. I don't have the playing 11 with me for both teams yet, but this is the information that I have is Prithvi Shaw and Varun Chakravarti are making their debut for India tonight. So that's that. I'll come back to the playing 11 in just a bit. But before that, the Indian Premier League, well, remember, it was called off. It was after the first half, literally, it was decided to postpone the remainder of the matches because of the raging COVID-19 pandemic in India at that time. It was in the first week of May that they decided to call off the IPL after a few players tested positive, and there was a lot of scare, and rightly so. Well, the remainder of the IPL will now be played in the UAE, and the BCCI has today, just a few minutes before, in fact, I went live, the BCCI announced the dates for the remainder of the IPL. So it's going to start on the 19th of September. This is critical to understand. This is going to start on the 19th of September, and the final will be played on the 15th of October. And then who gets to start off? Which teams will face off in the first match of the second half of the IPL 2021, if you like. It was, remember, very nicely poised the tournament at that stage when it was called off. And BCCI today has announced the dates for the other half of the IPL 2021. So here it is. I can give you the dates quickly before we move on to the playing 11 for both teams. It's starting on the 19th of September between Chennai Super Kings and Mumbai Indians. They'll be the teams to take it through, and of course, that will be the first game of the of the of the second half of the IPL. It's a blockbuster clash on the 19th of September. Chennai Super Kings and Mumbai Indians, the two most successful IPL teams in history. Then the action shifts to Abu Dhabi, where Kolkata Knight Riders will take on Royal Challengers Bangalore, and then Sharjah will host its first game on the 24th of September, when RCB take on the Chennai Super Kings. So, in effect, Dubai, Sharjah, and Abu Dhabi. That's where those are the three venues where the IPL will be played, much like it was in 2020. In fact, the whole of the 2020 season was played out in the UAE in these three venues. So 13 matches this time. 13 matches will be played in Dubai, 10 in Sharjah, and 8 in Abu Dhabi. So that's where the action is going to be for the IPL, and of course the T20 World Cup, which starts in October. So there will be. I'll give you more details on the IPL, the way it's been formatted now for the second half. It's 7 double headers. Remember, there were 12 double headers to be played in this IPL, but 5 of those were already played in India in the first half. Now there will be 7 double headers. The first match scheduled at 3:30 p.m. India Standard Time, and the second match of the double headers of the 7 double headers will start at 7:30 p.m. India Standard Time. And the final game of the league stage will be played between Royal Challengers Bangalore and the Delhi Capitals on the 8th of October. So that's the schedule which the BCCI has put out. Also, to put into perspective, the first qualifier will be played in Dubai on the 10th of October, and the eliminator and the qualifier too, the second qualifier, will be played on Sharjah, will be played in Sharjah on the 11th and the 13th of October. Dubai will host the final of the IPL 2021 on the 15th of October. So that's the news from the IPL there. From the 19th of September to the 15th of October. Nearly 1 month of action, and we're of course all eagerly waiting to see how that turns out. Remember, the IPL was called off, was postponed the first after the first half because of increasing COVID-19 cases. Right then, going back to the India versus Sri Lanka T20I, like I said, Sri Lanka have won the toss and decided to bowl. 2 debutants for India, Prithvi Shaw and Varun Chakravarti. I'll give you the team 11 quickly here. It's India, Shikhar Dhawan, of course, the captain, Prithvi Shaw, Ishan Kishan, Surya Kumar Yadav. Both Ishan Kishan and Surya Kumar had made their T20I debuts versus England earlier this year. Very, very impressive. And of course, they also impressed in their maiden ODIs, in the maiden ODI series against Sri Lanka. And then you have Sanju Samson at number 5, Hardik Pandya, Krunal Pandya, the Pandya brothers, Deepak Chahar, Bhuvneshwar Kumar, Yuzvendra Chahal, and Varun Chakravarti. That's what the Indian 11 is looking like. For Sri Lanka, Savishka Fernando, Vinod, then Dhananjaya, Bhanuka, Dhananjaya, Asalanka, Shanaka, Bandara, Hasaranga, Karunaratne, Isru Udana, Akila Dhananjaya, who was so impressive in the final ODI, and Chamira. That's the playing 11 for both teams. India is looking very, very strong, even without the likes of Virat Kohli, Rohit Sharma, KL Rahul, and Rishabh Pant in that mix. No Justin Bumrah, no Mohammad Shami, but just have a look at that lineup again. Shikhar Dhawan, Prithvi Shaw, the two openers. They've, of course, opened a lot in T20 cricket for the Delhi Capitals. Ishan Kishan and Surya Kumar Yadav, they're again two very, very good batsmen who have stood out in T20s for Mumbai Indians. Sanju Samson, of course, in the middle, and the two Pandya brothers, Hardik and Kunal, who have also been stellar performers for Mumbai Indians over the years. Then you have Deepak Chahar, Bhuvneshwar Kumar, the two pacers, and the two specialist spinners, and in Yuzvendra Chahal and Varun Chakravarti. This is the first time Varun Chakravarti is playing for India, and he's had a few near misses, so he'd really want to make the most of this opportunity, and he'd want to be on a roll for the Indians here. This is a great, great opportunity with the T20 World Cup just a few months away from now. In effect, this is a final audition for a lot of these cricketers vying for spots in that World Cup squad with India. Well, thank you so much for joining me on this live broadcast. The IPL, the second half of the IPL is set to begin on the 19th of September. The final on the 15th of October. There will be 7 double headers. There were 12 in all. 5 of those double headers were already played in India. And the first match of the second half of the IPL, when it resumes, will be played between Chennai Super Kings and Mumbai Indians. What a blockbuster clash that will be. It will be fascinating to resume action with two brilliant teams on the park. Well, thank you so much for joining me. Do subscribe to Sports Today. Do support our platform. Of course, we're covering the Olympics in depth. We have Boria Majumdar in Tokyo. He's bringing you the latest exclusive interviews and analysis and all the news updates from the Olympics. India, of course, got off the mark on day one with Mirabai Chanu winning a historic silver medal in weightlifting. There are some more prospective medal winners for India down the line. Hopefully, they all come through. And Mary Kom, of course, getting off to a brilliant start in her campaign in Tokyo. We'll really keep our fingers crossed and India sign off with some medals here in Tokyo. Well, thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you soon after the game. And you have a very, very good and a safe Sunday. Thank you.